Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I really don't think anyone ever saw this coming. Last night's emotional farewell of the Worlds Collide Tour will never ever be forgotten for all the memories it created, and I felt so honored last night to be a part of it, creating all these videos for you guys on my YouTube channel. I would be lying to you if I told you that last year was not the greatest year of my life, because last year really was. When this YouTube channel first launched, I had the honor of talking about Descendants of Zombies, but perhaps my greatest honor was having the honor to meet all of you. And last night's performance made all of this, all of my contributions, so worth it, and I would do this all over again. If I was in possession of a pocket watch, the one thing I would do would be to go back in time just to meet all of you again, and just to fall in love with the Descendants of Zombies all over again. No matter if we're talking about the original trilogy, the Rise of Red franchise, all of these stars brought it to life in so many unimaginable ways, in ways that we will never ever forget. And these moments from last night's grand finale are moments that we are going to forever and always cherish. While I can't speak for every other critic on YouTube who loves to criticize Descendants of Zombies, and especially the Worlds Collide Tour, because they came away from it being very disappointed, more so than happy with what they saw, I loved this. I loved every single moment of it. I loved every moment getting the honor to meet each and every one of you for the passions and your reasons behind why you love Descendants of Zombies, because I think the fans' contributions behind the Worlds Collide Tour is what really made this meaningful and really stood out, because I think Disney has been a part of so many fabulous stage productions over the years, but this has to be by far their greatest of all time. And that's why we will see Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour in late 2026. I'm expecting it to happen in the fall of 2026. So I've noticed in the forums that people are discussing about the Worlds Collide Tour, they are mentioning how they are crying because they never had the opportunity to go to the Worlds Collide Tour unattended. But fear not, because this story is far from over. Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour will happen, and they're heading overseas. So this time they're going to be performing in front of Germany crowds in Australia, crowds in the United Kingdom. This is going to be an incredible time to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies and be first introduced to the franchise for the first time ever. And I want you guys to know that I'm going to be fully supportive of Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour. This is what I've been saying for forever about the critics about Descendants of Zombies. That's what they want you to do. They want you to cry. They want you to feel upset about how you never had the opportunity to attend the Worlds Collide Tour. But I'm here to take that away from you guys. I'm here to alleviate the pressure off of everybody's shoulders and to reassure you guys that because Disney knows how popular these franchises are, they're not going to forget about you. And parts of the world that didn't have the opportunity to experience the Worlds Collide Tour will have an immersive experience headed right for them. And I am incredibly excited about the future of Descendants of Zombies because, as I just said, this story is far from over. We have the consequences of time travel to be expected in Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland's plot, and I am incredibly excited to be a part of it because we don't know what's next for Red and Chloe. Was happily ever after really all they bargained for? Will it amount to something far greater? Will they achieve their dreams ever before they ever did? We will find out in Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, and I'm really excited about summer 2026 because not only do we have the premiere of this movie upcoming, but we also have Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour. And I know a lot of people feel discouraged because they didn't have the opportunity to attend the Worlds Collide Tour. They were watching the videos at home. They were probably feeling envious about people who did have the chance to experience the Worlds Collide Tour. But we're all friends now because of Descendants of Zombies, and I think some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of Descendants of Zombies. You know, everyday conversations start with, are you a fan of Descendants of Zombies? And if the answer is yes, you guys are friends for the rest of your life. And that's what I love so much about this franchise. That's what I saw in the videos that I watched on YouTube for the people who uploaded these videos who did a fabulous job. Everybody were friends in the crowd. Everybody wanted to be a part of something special, from how you jumped up out of your seats, how you were clapping your hands, how you were dancing, how you were having a good time, spending all this money on merchandise that you will forever and always cherish as memorabilia for how much this tour meant to you guys. Because it was a part of history. That's what stood out about this. This was a part of history, and we knew going into it we were going to be a part of history. And I think that people like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky have every reason right now to be proud of themselves, which is why I hope they're not being subject to criticism for the performance level, for how the concert tour dates were put off, because I think they were fabulously collaborated. Everybody who was part of this did a fabulous job and deserves anything but criticism. Especially Kylie Cantrell, and I may be saying this because I am the biggest Kylie Cantrell fan in the world and supporter ever since I saw her first YouTube video on her Hello Kylie YouTube show years ago. But I say this because, not just because Kylie Cantrell reviewed some of my favorite kids' TV shows of all time, Sam and Cat, Victorious, iCarly. I say this because Kylie Cantrell always showed up with a passion and always showed up with a smile on her face. And last night was no exception. She showed up on that stage and she wanted to go out with a blast, and she will go out with a blast and as one of the greatest of all time. And that's what I'm here to ensure. I'm here to ensure that everybody has a good time and an immersive experience with the Worlds Collide Tour, and actually finds good reviews on YouTube that encourages you to head out to the Worlds Collide Tour and have fun. This is not the last Worlds Collide Tour video that I will post. I will post more in relation to the Worlds Collide Tour and reviews of it, because that's what you guys are searching up. That's the trend now on YouTube. Everybody is searching up the grand finale of the Worlds Collide Tour, so that's why today's focus is on the Worlds Collide Tour and everything happening with Descendants of Zombies, because I've never seen so much done with a franchise. I've never seen a franchise so celebrated. Do I think it deserves to be celebrated? Sure I do. Do I think the stars deserve to be put on pedestals? Sure I do. You had better believe it, because people like Ruby Rose Turner's time with the franchise was very short-lived. You know, going into the Worlds Collide Tour earlier this summer, I was excited about Ruby Rose Turner being a part of the franchise and being a part of something that she would never ever forget, because she seemed to be so appreciative of donning the role of Bridget and bringing the young Queen of Hearts to life in a way that I don't think anybody else would have ever been able to do it, really demonstrating how far kindness can go in this lifetime. Because I can guarantee you that there is somebody in your life today that you probably saw at school, on your way to school on the school bus, on your way home on the school bus, walking home, probably holding hands with them, who just wanted to hold hands with you for a brief moment, who never saw kindness today, but because of you, they did. And I think that a lot of people don't really realize how far kindness can really go in this lifetime, how far it can really make it. And that's what Ruby Rose Turner has desperately tried to do through the portrayal of the character Bridget, and she's done a fabulous job, which is why I say, you know, I wish Ruby Rose Turner would forever and always have remained a part of the Descendants franchise. And that's not without saying that she could be a part of Descendants 6, but, you know, going into the Worlds Collide Tour, I would have loved to have been a part of it. I would have loved for stars of the past, like Dove and Sophia, to have come back and reprised their role, even if they just made an appearance, like Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly did for several tour dates. It was really cool how Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim just randomly showed up. I say this because everybody who was a part of these franchises, you know, it was the time of their life. They had so much fun. It wasn't like they were just doing it for the purpose of, you know, reprising a role for a character that had meant so much to the franchise that we all remember, like Zed and Addison. Because as far as I'm concerned, Zed and Addison were the power couple of this new generation. They look so perfect together. Undeniably, they were meant to spend the rest of their lives together. And you knew going into Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, they were going to spend the rest of their lives together. Kind of like how we all wish we would get to a point in our life where we'd realize that this is the person we want to spend the rest of our lives with. And rest assured it can happen for you, because I'm never ever going to take that hope away from anybody. Because I think that all these dreams that the Descendants of Zombies have still in their minds is really a reality. It's just further away for some people than they ever want to imagine or come to terms with. And that's why I'm here, because I love to talk about this. I love to talk about the messages of Descendants of Zombies. I think every moment of Descendants of Zombies we felt a part of, from the unveiling of the Oradon school to the Isle of the Lost, and how these characters wanted to achieve acceptance more than anything else in the world. From the very first moment that Zed laid eyes on Addison and knew he wanted to spend the rest of her life with her, regardless of what sacrifices he had to make. I think we all remember a time in our lives where we felt like these characters and we could relate to these characters. And I know that last night during the grand finale, everybody was overcome with emotion. I too would have been overcome with emotion, because I have this thing where I never want to say goodbye to franchises. You know, years ago I never wanted to say goodbye to High School Musical, nor did I want to say goodbye to Hannah Montana, but I knew the time was coming when I had to, and as hard for me as it was to accept it, the times were changing, and I too as a Disney fan had to change with the times. And I still uploaded Hannah Montana and High School Musical videos long after the legacies of these two franchises had surpassed. And I'm going to have the hardest time ever saying goodbye to this franchise, because here's the thing, I never want these franchises to end. I never want them to end. While other critics are anticipating the conclusion, which they feel is going to be dramatic for Descendants and Zombies, I never want to say goodbye to a franchise that has meant so much to me, because I know it's forever and always held a special place in my heart. And I know I can create 100 videos on Descendants of Zombies without even thinking about it, because there's so much to say. There's so much of a conversation that can be created from this. And, what's really interesting about this is now, people are still talking about the Worlds Collide Tour even in the midst of it. People never wanted the moment to end where they were a part of something spectacular. It was almost as if, Descendants of Zombies came to life on a stage. It was live. You were in person. It was so fun. Not only that, but they had a Q&A where your questions had to be submitted prior to the Q&A, I know, but at least they went out of their way to, do a Q&A and bring it to life in a way that other stars never did. I mean, I never saw Hannah Montana doing a Q&A years ago, unless it was in front of a television camera for the media, because the media seemed to be the only ones that could get close enough to Hannah Montana years ago. So I think that a profound amount of credit deserves to be shown to the Zombies Descendant stars, because they really brought this to life in a way that was meaningful to them. It was an experience that they will never ever forget. And it was because of each and every one of you. You gave them the greatest gift ever. Even if some of you never had the opportunity to present belts to Malachi Burton or shirts to Freya Sky, you gave them the greatest gift ever, because you showed up out of respect to them, you showed them appreciation, and you showed them undeniable love. Because let me tell you guys something, the love from Descendants of Zombies fans that even a podcast host receives is unconditional. Because I never ever thought that I would be embraced by a franchise as much as what I had been. I never ever thought this show would get to the point that it's at. But it's at this point because of each and every one of you, because you believed in the host of the show, you believed in his message, and you believed in me being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and more importantly, you accepted me as a fan of Descendants of Zombies. This is the greatest time of my life, talking about Descendants of Zombies, and this is really the most fun that I've ever had, because honestly, at this point in my life, I can't think of myself even talking about another franchise. I want to give you my word, just as I did a year and a half ago, that there will always be a video uploaded on this YouTube channel, regardless of my circumstances or situation. I will always be here to support Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, all of your favorites, all in the one, because I feel as if a lot of people are just uploading videos filled with criticism, either because they were disappointed with the Worlds Collide Tour. They'll find everything to criticize about the Worlds Collide Tour, especially Leg 2, with them heading overseas. And I look forward to them heading overseas, because the crowds overseas are so energetic. I know this from profiling entertainment for years. The crowds overseas are very different from crowds in the United States and Canada and different parts of the world, because they really bring it to life. People in Germany, people in Australia, people in the United Kingdom are going to experience anything unlike they've ever seen before in their life, and I am really intrigued by the videos that will pop up on YouTube, that will be uploaded, the commentaries that will be provided on Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour. People are already hoping and reaching out for new dates to be added to the tour. People are already offering speculation on it, predictions, and I'm incredibly excited about it, because I never wanted to say goodbye to this. From the very first moment that last night's Fort Worth, Texas performance commenced, I didn't want to say goodbye to it. And I appreciated all the short videos that were uploaded, all the full-length performances that were uploaded. I believe there was one video uploaded of the full-length performance. And I really loved it, because everybody felt like they were a part of something that was really going to last forever, and they believed at one point or another it was going to last for forever. And it was the time of your life that you spent with your friends. Some of you spent hours doing your hair, picking out your outfits, getting your gifts ready to present to the stars. And like I just said, even if you didn't get the opportunity to meet your favorite stars or give them a gift, you trust me, you gave them the greatest gift of all. You gave them your love, you gave them their passion, you gave them your support, and you've been doing that for forever. Just for the simple fact that you showed up with a Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide t-shirt that you probably bought at the merch stand that same night, and you were so excited to wear it in support of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Even the simplest little acts went further than many of you probably perhaps realize. And I'm not just saying this because I've been involved with entertainment for forever and I've been a journalist for all of my life. I'm saying this because that's what I saw. And that's my take and that's my opinion on the Worlds Collide Tour. And I know I'm up against probably 15 million critics who, have a lot to say about Descendants of Zombies, how this upset them, how this let them down, and 95% of the reviews are filled with criticism. And that's the reason why Kylie Cantrell goes back to her hotel room every night and cries. These short TikTok videos she's uploading with the cast having fun, if you notice, they only run for about 45 seconds because the rest of the night she's crying because of an opinion somebody uploads on YouTube. And I wanted to take that away from Kylie for forever. From the very first moment I ever saw Kylie Cantrell cry over somebody's opinion, I wanted to stop it. Because Kylie Cantrell is a beautiful person. I remember watching Kylie when she was 10 years old on YouTube, wanting nothing more and the opportunity to perform for each and every one of you, to make you laugh and to put a smile on your face. And now 15 years later, here's Kylie Control, 20 years old, figuring out a place in the world, figuring out what she wants to get the most out of life, and all she's faced with every day on YouTube and TikTok, on social media, is criticism. Why? Because she did a fabulous job bringing her character to life, because Disney generated more revenue than they ever had before from a concert production. And that says a lot when you're up against productions like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Frozen, High School Musical, Hannah Montana, Best of Both Worlds with the Jonas Brothers in 2008. I mean, the revenue was crazy. The response was overwhelming. And that's exactly what I wanted to see for people like Freya Sky, who are just figuring out their place in the world, what they want to get the most out of life for, because she's the next Taylor Swift. You can mark that down on your calendar. I don't know when, what date it will happen on, what date it will be announced, what date it will be confirmed, but she is the next Taylor Swift. She's in line for her own tour bus. You know, if I can see professional wrestlers having their own tour bus that nobody's ever heard tell of before in their life, which I've seen, and I can never believe, then people like Freya Sky deserve their own tour bus hands down. They deserve to be put in the same category as Ariana Grande and people like Taylor Swift, because of just how much dedication they put forth for everything they do, because this is their job. This is what they love to do. They don't come to work every day to hear criticism on YouTube. They come to work to get praised. And if anybody's going to give them praise, it's going to be this guy here, because, forgive me, I see the value in Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide ever before anybody else does on YouTube, because all they talk about are the outfits. All they talk about are the song sets and how the tour was really laid out, and if it really lived up to their expectations. Because that's what people love to do. I, for one, love to showcase it for the value of it and its true worth. And I guess that's why I perceive so much criticism on my YouTube channel, because that's what I see the Worlds Collide Tour having been. I see it for having been an immersive experience that so many people were so happy to be a part of. And I noticed on the final night of the tour, people were leaving comments on forums, doing everything within their power just to make sure their child attended the Worlds Collide Tour and were a part of this experience, because they knew it would be something that would mean so much to them and an experience they would never ever forget. And while so many people got shut out of the Worlds Collide Tour, there is always an opportunity for a new tour to emerge, more tour dates, and an expansion. So keep your eyes on Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour official's website, because in the lateral part of 2026, I would venture to say, if I can make an early on prediction, there's going to be magic happening, because this really was an opportunity to create so much magic, like Mickey being the apprentice of Merlin in The Sword and the Stone. It was Lord Xehanort. It was amazing seeing Mickey, creating magic for Fantasia years ago, and you guys really created your own brand of magic, and you really brought this to life. Even for how you just jumped up out of your seats, you were so immersed in the experience, and I know because I saw it. And I am forever grateful for every single person who ever showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour and proudly admitted with an open heart and an open mind they were a fan of the Descendants of Zombies, because the greatest contribution for this Worlds Collide Tour happened because of the fans. Everybody was so immersed in this experience. Everybody was so honored to be a part of something so spectacular. And I, too, was honored to be a part of it, even though I'm just a journalist, speaking from my heart with an open heart and an open mind about it, because I think it's the most powerful way to talk about Descendants of Zombies, because one can show up and talk about Descendants of Zombies and fill their 20-minute video up with criticism, but one can also show up talking about Descendants of Zombies to inspire people to hit his subscribe button, because he wants you to be a part of this incredible journey. Because you girls have had me on an incredible journey for what feels like forever, and a journey that I honestly never want to see its conclusion for, because I had the honor of not only talking about Descendants of Zombies, but I had the honor of meeting each and every one of you. For whatever reasons you were a fan of Descendants of Zombies, we got to know each other. And that was the difference behind this YouTube channel. While other people, hid behind AI, never revealed themselves, just used an AI voice with pre-typed script to talk about predictions about Descendants 5 and the World's Descendants Zombies Collide Tour, I wanted to showcase Descendants of Zombies for its true value, and I wanted you to see the appreciation coming from a host about Descendants of Zombies who loved Red, who loved Pink, who loved Bridget, who loved Chloe, who loved Mel and Evie of Descendants Past, because this franchise has meant so much to everybody, and I have never, this could just be how I feel about it, but I have never seen a franchise mean so much to so many incredible people. More people than ever before have felt inspired, have come away feeling inspired from Descendants of Zombies because of Descendants of Zombies, because we were lost in these moments, like we saw just last night with Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky being caught up within the moment. which I love so much because I was waiting for those moments for them to become so emotionally overcome with their performances, and that's why I give it a 5-star rating, because it really deserves a 5-star rating. You know, if one's going to talk about the Worlds Collide Tour, then they should talk about the Worlds Collide Tour, and they should put it over in the way it was meant to be talked about. You know, I know I only have 5 minutes left on my show for my final video today, but the thing is, I love talking about Descendants of Zombies, so I know in my heart that 6 months from now, I could still talk about Descendants of Zombies, and people are still going to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I feel the way I do about Descendants of Zombies. You know, this is not just a passion. This has become a way of life for me and many other people on YouTube. It's Descendants of Zombies or die, for those of you who don't realize it. So why are so many people showing up criticizing it? I think it has a lot to do with jealousy, and a profound amount of jealousy, which sometimes can really kill people, can turn people into such hateful individuals. And I think that Descendants of Zombies is just trying to spread a message of kindness, which they've very effectively done, and this is the first franchises in really history to do it. That's what makes this so exciting to be a part of it. This is something special. This is history that we are all a part of. However long it lasts, we don't know. We don't know what's coming next. We don't know what the next chapters will detail for both Descendants 5 and Zombies 5. I really appreciate how the 5 trend is really going on and happening for both Descendants and Zombies, because Zombies could still be producing Zombies 4 up to this point, but they're catching up to Descendants, and the stream hours for Zombies is compiling pretty high with over 250 million hours plus. Descendants is a grand total of 781 million. Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, is currently the #1 movie streamed on Disney Plus for all families and friends, so that's really cool. I really love this. I really do, because without Descendants and Zombies, I don't even know if we would have ever met. So the greatest honor of my life was meeting all of you and being able to produce as many videos as I have. I started producing videos as late as at midnight last night. And, you know, I haven't slept since, but hopefully I'll catch some shut-eye now after I upload this video and I go out for supper later on tonight. And hopefully I'll come back with probably, I don't know, 500 subscribers, 500 likes. I would love to have 500 likes, come to think of it, on this YouTube channel, but one can only dream for that. And if you're wondering where I'm going for supper tonight, it's Wednesday. It's Wendy's. I haven't been to Wendy's in a really long time, but yeah, I've always loved Descendants of Zombies, and I will forever and always be here talking about Descendants of Zombies, even if I'm at the local Dairy Queen or the local Wendy's, because that's what I do. I upload videos and I don't promote them. And however many views I get, however many subscribers I get, however many likes I put up on this YouTube channel, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to your guys' love and support, because honestly, I don't know where I would be without your love and support. I do know for sure that this YouTube channel would have never happened. I do know that this YouTube channel would have never amounted to what it has. However many subscribers we have accumulated, almost 3,000, and we have so many more Descendants fans and fans of Zombies to meet. So that means I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of talking about Descendants of Zombies to do. Because if one's going to criticize Descendants of Zombies, they really have no place in the conversation. I think that if you're going to show up talking about Descendants of Zombies, then you've really got to show up and talk about Descendants of Zombies and showcase it for what its worth is. You know, I love telling you stories about my personal life that relate to Descendants of Zombies, because it's a very different way of presenting the content, rather than just showing up and saying, here's what I liked about Descendants and Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, here's what I didn't like about it. I think that a lot of people just do it again. You know, it has a lot to do with jealousy. And I've really wanted to take that away from people who, you know, are filled with jealousy because of the profound success that Descendants of Zombies has seen. Should Clarke and Trial and Freya Sky be crying? No. At this moment, they should be proud of everything they accomplished. You know, they wanted a world tour to happen for Descendants of Zombies, and so did a world tour happen. And millions of people were inspired by the world tour, and their passion for Descendants of Zombies was showcased in a way that perhaps it was never showcased in the movies, because a live experience is far more immersive than just watching it at home. And for everybody who, you know, made this so special, I just want to say thank you, because I know that this is the greatest summer of my life, and this is the greatest honor of my life that I've ever seen in my career, because I've provided commentary on a lot of different niches that didn't make a whole lot of sense, from TV to movies to video games. I've done it all, and I've been a part of every generation of Disney, and I've never felt so honored. But to be a part of this is an experience that I will forever and always cherish. I will never shut up about Descendants of Zombies, because I know how much it means to each and every one of you. I know, more importantly, what it's like to be each and every one of you, to be lost in a moment that you wish could last for forever, that you could just be a part of for your entire life. And I'm here to ensure you that that will happen, and your favorite stars' legacies will go down in history for being some of the greatest of all time. But I can't do that without you. I can't ensure the futures of your favorite stars without your guys' love and support, which you have continuously shown for this YouTube channel and hopefully will continue to do for the foreseeable future. Descendants of Zombies is a way of life for us all. It's what's brought us all together. It's what made us the best of friends, and this is an experience that I hope I get lost in for forever. And if this is a dream, I certainly hope that I never wake up from it, because there's a lot to be said about Descendants of Zombies, and last night's final performance, the grand finale of the Worlds Collide Tour, will never ever be forgotten and forever be cherished in the hearts of every single person who ever proudly said they were a fan of Descendants of Zombies, yours truly included. So if you haven't liked or subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that to join me on this incredible journey, because it's been a journey that I know I will never ever forget and forever and always cherish. Thank you guys so much for showing all the love you have to your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Last night's performance will go down in history as one of the most emotional by far of all time. And I look forward to leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, because there's going to be so many emotional moments and so much for us yet to experience that I'm just incredibly honored to be a part of, because I'm just a journalist who brings this to life, and you guys offer the greatest contributions to Descendants of Zombies by bringing it to life in so many unimaginable ways. Thank you guys so much for showing up and loving Descendants of Zombies, because you are the reason all of this happened and all of this came to be. You're the reason why we're here, and I have never felt so honored to be in your guys' presence. Having said that, keep Descendants of Zombies in your hearts forever and always. Forget about the critics, because they are just saying and posting what they want you to see and hear. Believe what you want. Trust in your hearts, because it's your best friend that will always lead you out of darkness back into the light. At least that's what I've always believed. We will talk again tomorrow morning about Descendants of Zombies. Until then, bye YouTube. We will talk again in literally just a few hours from now.